The press briefing at the residence of the Chinese ambassador to Ghana was a maiden one. The meeting between journalists, think tanks, and the new Chinese envoy was a pertinent platform for progressive conversations about both nations and the broader African continent. Journalists across the country and think tanks, namely the China-Ghana Friendship Association, Africa-China Center for Policy Advocacy, and the Socialist Movement of Ghana, were also represented at the official briefing. Addressing the media, the Chinese ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Tong Defa, highlighted the historical bond between China and Africa, rooted in shared struggles against colonialism and imperialism. According to him, over the next 3 years, China and the African continent will collaborate on 10 key initiatives, including trade facilitation, infrastructural development, healthcare improvements, and green energy projects, in which China has pledged $50.6 billion in financial support to implement these actions.
Support the unity, the union of African continent, including Africa Continent Free Trade Area, and Iceland. We fully support that. We believe it's good for Africa as a continent to develop as a big family. So we have some cooperation with the secretary here. Actually, we invited the secretary to attend the summit, but I think during other schedules he could not. But actually, we support that, and I think there will be more we can do for African free trade area for the construction of that.
The Chinese ambassador to Ghana also took turns to respond to questions from journalists on the outcome of the FOCAC 2024 summit. He responded to questions asked by journalists on Chinese alleged involvement in illegal mining in the country and the West's absolute propaganda on the African continent. He also added in his submission that China supports the idea of African unity as spearheaded by some African leaders.
First one is promote bilateral relations. We want to do more things between our two countries, bring our two countries closer. The second one is, of course, we need to safeguard Chinese citizens here, nationals' legitimate rights. But there's one thing for sure: we always request Chinese citizens here to do things legal, to do things according to law and local laws and regulations, and even traditional customs. Like I know you have a lot of traditional customs. We ask Chinese, that's our way. We always, I know there are some Chinese, not all Chinese, there are some Chinese, involved in this illegal mining, but we discourage them. We discourage them. And I follow, because I was accompanying President Kufuor to Beijing. He even mentioned this. When he met our president last time in 2018, our president said to himself that if any Chinese committed any illegal things here in Ghana, you do according to your law. We support you do according to your law. So we discourage Chinese people doing this illegal mining. But I read the news now, it's a topic. Actually, you have a lot of regulations, but not all people, even including Ghanaian people, they're not abiding the laws. I think Chinese people, they're only very tiny of them doing this. But we are, even in this year, we are taking a lot of measures dealing with these issues.
In an interaction with the media, National Chairman of Ghana-China Friendship Association and former Ghana Ambassador to China, His Excellency Anani Demuyako, stated that China practices socialism and entreated the country to do same.
The Chinese have never said they're communists. They've never said they do communism. In fact, it's because they broke away from communism that they had the first problem with Russia. Because they broke away from communism and they say what they have type is socialism with Chinese characteristics. Why can't we have democracy with Ghanaian characteristics? You take a system, you mold it to suit you. That's precisely what the Chinese have done. The Chinese are more democratic than the Western countries. I've worked in the UK as a foreign service officer for 5 years. I've seen two governments come when I was in the UK. And even the elections that the British have or the Americans have is nowhere near that of China. China, the factions are many. It's just that it's one communist country and they use different ways.
Ambassador Tong's remarks highlight the extraordinary success of the 2024 FOCAC summit, where both China and Africa reaffirmed their dedication to mutual prosperity and global equity. The outcome of this historic event laid the foundation for a future where the Global South will increasingly lead the charge towards a fair and inclusive global order. Stanley Kwabla Aku for Pan-African News.